My name is Nathan Walters, and I'm a senior chemical engineer at Louisiana Tech.
My name is Grant Viel, and I'm a senior chemical engineering student at Louisiana Tech.
And this is the large distillation column for the senior lab. For this experiment, make sure you are wearing proper PPE, so your hard hat and your safety glasses. We also have some safety hazards that you want to be aware of. First, make sure that you don't touch the reboiler or the copper pipes leading out of the reboiler, because they are very hot. Additionally, there will also be a lot of spillage coming out of the buckets, so it is a slip, trip, fall hazard. Finally, maintain 3 points of contact when climbing up and down the ladders to make sure you don't fall.
In this experiment, the column will be used to separate isopropanol and N-propanol, two isomers of propanol. This is the feed drum. The pump right here will be used to transport the feed into the trays, which are on the second floor. This is the reboiler. It's a kettle reboiler. In here contain both isomers. You're going to have steam coming in to bring the mixture back to a vapor. It's going to go up through this pipe back up to the second floor. This is a pipe that comes from the reboiler. You're going to want to make sure this valve is open so that vapors can go through the column.
These white probes are temperature probes. They take the temperature of each tray and send a digital reading to the control room so you can monitor the temperatures. The vapor produced from the column will be condensed into a distillate stream, so you want to make sure the valves on the bottom of the distillate tanks are open so they can be drained and recycled to the feed along with the bottom stream. This is the feed line to the feed tray on the distillation column.
Once you have determined which tray is being used as a feed tray, you'll want to come to the third floor. You want to make sure this valve is open because this is the pipe that the vapor product from the column passes through to get to the condenser. Additionally, make sure this valve is closed so that the vapor coming from the reboiler doesn't bypass the column and come straight to the condenser. Cooling water enters the condenser from here. This temperature probe records its temperature. The distillate streams come from the condenser to the accumulator and go back down the side of the column. It then gets split into the reflux stream, which is fed back into the column. The leftover distillate is fed back to the distillate tank.
Once you're ready to start running the column, the first thing to do is check the level inside the reboiler, which is found at this sight glass. If it's not up to halfway, then turn the main pump switch on and then flip the feed pump switch on as well. This is the main switch and this is the feed switch. This will pump propanol from the feed tank into the reboiler. Once the feed tank is filled halfway, you can turn on the cooling water by opening these valves and turn on the steam to the reboiler by opening up first this valve and then the valve behind. This temperature probe will give you the temperature of the steam, and the pressure valve will show you the pressure, which can be used to look up the steam tables for the properties. Additionally, check here in the corner of the room to make sure the main steam line is on. If this is inside of it, it is closed. If the rod is outwards, it is open.
The control room is where you can monitor all of your temperatures. Always keep one team member in here during the runs. Double click on Start Station. Once that opens, you're going to want to come to LA Tech and click on Distillation. Here you can see all of your temperatures, including tray temperatures, cooling water temperatures, and condensate temperatures from your reboiler and condenser. You can also click on Louisiana Tech, come down here to column graph. Here you can see that the column is off. This is column profile. It shows you temperatures of each tray. Once your temperature stops changing in the control room, you need to make sure that you're at steady state by making sure that the level in the reboiler and the feed tank are unchanging. If they're steady, you're going to want to go ahead and collect your mass flow rates, the condensate from the reboiler, and cooling water from the condenser, the distillate, and the feed back here. To do that, fill a 1 gallon bucket while another team member operates a stopwatch. You can use scales to find the mass flow rate.
To adjust the reflux ratio, open up this valve and choke down on this one until you have a reflux ratio. Once you have steady state, record the values from the control room using a USB drive. When you are done with your runs, turn off all your pumps and turn off the steam, but let your cooling water keep going until your tray temperature reaches below 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Once you can turn off the cooling water.